What happens when the student outgrows the master, only to find that the master is still pulling the strings behind his back? That's the burning question at the heart of one of the most explosive chapters in the relationship between Gervonta Tank Davis and Floyd Money Mayweather. This isn't just another boxing rivalry. This one is personal, and the truth is more shocking than anyone could have imagined. Floyd Mayweather, the man who once called Tank his protege, has been secretly helping Lamont Roach train for his upcoming fight against Davis. As if that weren't enough, Mayweather has also recruited Tank's former coach, Calvin Ford, the man who helped shape Tank's career from the ground up. When Tank discovered the betrayal, things escalated quickly, and the war between these two giants of boxing went into overdrive. For years, Calvin Ford wasn't just Tank's coach, he was a father figure, someone who guided him both in the ring and in life. Ford and Tank had built an unstoppable partnership, with Ford helping Tank through some of the biggest victories of his career. But recently, rumors began circulating that Ford was spending more time with Floyd than anyone had expected. To understand why this betrayal hurt so deeply, you need to look at the history between these two men. Calvin Ford didn't just train Tank, he saved him. Tank's life could have gone a very different way, but Ford was there to keep him on track. Tank's story began in the tough streets of Baltimore, where Ford had been a constant presence, teaching Tank discipline and focus when it seemed like no one else cared. Tank recalled how Ford would pick him up from trouble and take him under his wing, even letting him sleep in his home when things got tough. When I had to train, I didn't want to get in trouble. I wanted to make sure we were together, Tank shared. Ford had seen the potential in Tank before anyone else did and had fought for him when others had given up. He believed in Tank when no one else did. It was this belief that laid the foundation for their strong bond, one that seemed unbreakable until now. But when Floyd Mayweather began pulling the strings behind the scenes, things started to shift. At first, it seemed harmless enough. Floyd had always been known for mentoring fighters, and he was no stranger to stepping into other fighters' camps. However, it was revealed that Floyd had actively convinced Calvin Ford to join him in training Lamont Roach for his fight against Tank. This was more than just business, it felt like a betrayal on a personal level. Tank's reaction was immediate and intense. After all, Calvin Ford wasn't just his coach, he was the man who had believed in him when no one else did. Tank had trusted Ford, and now that trust was shattered. The betrayal wasn't just professional, it was deeply personal. Tank had always been the first one in the gym and the last one out, a fighter who gave everything to the sport. But now, his former mentor had crossed a line, and Tank wasn't about to let it slide. He confronted Floyd in a private gym session, and things quickly escalated. What started as a war of words turned into a full-blown confrontation. Tank made it clear that he wasn't happy with Floyd's actions, letting him know exactly how he felt. Floyd, ever the showman, brushed it off as just business. But for Tank, it was about much more than business. It was about loyalty, legacy, and pride. The dynamic between Tank and Floyd had always been complicated, but this moment marked a breaking point. Tank knew that Floyd was playing a dangerous game, one that had nothing to do with their professional relationship and everything to do with his own ego. The tension between them had been building for years. Tank had always been a fighter who never backed down from a challenge, but the relationship with Floyd had become strained as Tank grew into his own. Floyd had helped launch Tank's career, but as Tank's star continued to rise, Floyd's influence started to feel more like a leash than a ladder. Rumors of control issues, career decisions, and power struggles between them had swirled for a long time, and it wasn't long before their professional split became inevitable. The whispers about Floyd trying to control Tank's career were not unfounded. In the early days, Floyd had even tried to persuade Tank to leave Baltimore and live in Las Vegas to avoid distractions, offering him a penthouse apartment and a Jeep as part of the deal. But Tank, ever the stubborn fighter, rejected the offer and sold the Jeep, choosing to return to his roots in Baltimore. From there, their relationship took a turn for the worse, with Floyd throwing shade at Tank's personal life and career choices, while Tank didn't hold back in calling out Floyd's ego. However, This latest betrayal, Floyd using Calvin Ford to train Lamont Roach, was something entirely different. It was a move designed to get under Tank's skin and make a statement. Floyd knew exactly how to provoke Tank, and it was clear that he was trying to manipulate the situation for his own gain. For Tank, this wasn't just another rivalry, it was a direct challenge to his legacy and the team that had helped him get to the top. The situation was further complicated by the involvement of Frank Martin. Floyd had reportedly given Frank insider information on how to defeat Tank, even going so far as to train with him. This was another move that rubbed Tank the wrong way, as he knew that Floyd's loyalty to him was no longer genuine. Tank was becoming more and more frustrated with the way Floyd was inserting himself into his business, and the tension between the two was reaching a boiling point. Despite all the drama surrounding him, Tank knew that his biggest challenge was still ahead: the fight against Lamont Roach. Roach might not have the same star power as Tank, but he was no pushover. Known for his technical precision and endurance, Roach had the tools to give Tank a serious challenge in the ring. With Floyd Mayweather and Calvin Ford now in Roach's corner, the stakes had never been higher. Floyd's experience and tactical knowledge, combined with Ford's intimate understanding of Tank's strengths and weaknesses, could give Roach the edge he needed to pull off an upset. As the fight looms closer, the trash talk between the two fighters intensifies. Tank has always been known for his fiery attitude, and he didn't hesitate to let Roach know that he wasn't intimidated by the added firepower in Roach's corner. But Roach is hungry, and he's ready to prove that he belongs at the top of the boxing world. He's not afraid to take on the challenge of fighting Tank, and with the added motivation of Floyd and Calvin in his corner, he's feeling more confident than ever. Roach knows that this is his chance to make a name for himself, and he's determined to make the most of it. The press conferences leading up to the fight have been nothing short of a spectacle. Tank's frustration is written all over his face, while Roach remains calm and composed, focused on the task at hand. But everyone knows that Tank isn't just fighting for a title, he's fighting for his pride, for his legacy, and for everything he's worked for. If he can channel his frustration into motivation and keep his emotions in check, his power, speed, and ring IQ should be enough to secure the win. But if he lets the drama get to him, Roach could capitalize on any weaknesses and pull off the upset. As the fight approaches, one thing is clear: the fallout from this drama is far from over. If Tank defeats Roach, it will be a massive statement. He'll prove that he doesn't need Floyd or Calvin Ford to succeed, that he's his own man, ready to stand on his own 2 feet in the boxing world. But if he loses, the narrative will shift entirely. Floyd and Roach will take center stage, and Tank will be left to pick up the pieces. Tank's journey to the top has been anything but easy, but he's always had the will to fight through adversity. Whether he wins or loses, his story will continue, and the drama surrounding his fractured relationship with Floyd Mayweather is far from over. Only time will tell how this chapter will end, but one thing is certain: the battle for Tank's legacy is just getting started.